we can start.
Super. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I would like to thank one and all of you for such an overwhelming response at such a short notice. Um, Let me quickly introduce myself, Ami Sharma. I'm working with VMC Technologies as a head relationship manager, and I have about 20 plus years of experience. I have a colleague of mine, Uttarayan
Hi.
Mukherjee, who is working as a product analyst with us, as well as he has worked with social media marketing, lead generation, and product analyst. So let's dive right into the topics that we're here to cover. Let's get started.
As of today, we would like to give you a warm welcome to the webinar, which is actually focusing on how we can revolutionize the admission process for our education using the unified solution. Now, this is a very common question that we get, that what is unified solution? So that is what we are here to find out today, and hope that during this webinar you would have a lot to take with you, and at least you will have a great clarity of what needs to be done. So let's get started.
Great.
So you would like to take it forward?
Yes, thank you. So in terms of, we all know that previously there was a time when people, had to look for newspapers or go in and look for, some colleagues, colleges who will guide you which line to take, which university is good for that, or which college is good. But now you don't have to ask anybody. At a click of a button on various social media platforms, here you have an answer. And the information is so much that at the end of the day, we can get confused of what course were you actually looking for in the initial basis to what you actually end
Yeah.
up doing. So social media platforms play a very important role in how the prospective student looks at what is available today. So when we say it is becomes your touch base point, it becomes a point where you evaluate, the students basically evaluate about the university or the school, the campus life, what kind of credentials that particular university has, what kind of future prospects do we have, and a lot of other things. So how each of your course or how your university or school is identified or portrayed on the social media makes a
Exactly.
lot of difference. And now, when I say that, it sounds very interesting. Yes, everybody's into Facebook, Instagram, and so many other places. But when I talk about how do we engage on these platforms, we can randomly DM it. That used to be the initial days where people
The
would
very
DM
start.
or start interacting. But now it has to improvise. So improvise in what sense? Use chat bots, voice bots, guided communications in such a way that you actually end up giving out the information or explaining exactly what they're looking for, so that when we are at the end of the day funnelizing, or how your admission process improves is completely based on this. So when we talk about social media, what are the two main points? The student journey begins from exploring to shortlisting options. And at a counselor level, at an admission level, what are we looking at? We're looking at how do we get not just quantity of leads, but a quality of leads, so that at the end of the day, it gets converted into leads.
And even in this, I would like to add something, Abhi,
Sure.
that we have seen in the recent times
Yes.
that social media has played a huge part in this. Like,
Absolutely.
I agree that yes, websites and every other aggregator, if we take into consideration what actually the school is offering, or what
True.
actually institution
Previously,
is offering in
previously
this
one
sense.
had to find out contact numbers and things, then go to
Exactly.
them,
Yeah.
visit them. Now you can get a tour on the platform itself. You don't have to
Yeah.
physically go. So it does. So there's a lot of thing on engagement level that happens on a social media
Agree.
for a student or the parent of the student to know that exactly this is where I want to be or go.
And adding on to that, nowadays there have been alumni and everything, which are again connecting into social media. Yes. Which also gives you a bigger prospect of the person who has been there already.
Right. So the community or the sense of blogs or whatever they have, that kind of helps and adds value to it as we move ahead.
Exactly. And now, if you move on to the next one,
Yeah.
so getting the lead is the first part.
Absolutely.
Now, the next part comes how we can channel the lead to
Right.
turn it into a, let's say, enrollment.
Right.
Because eventually, or let's say in the further run, that is what it comes. So, if we take it into consideration,
Right.
data analytics plays a very important role in this part.
Correct.
Because whenever the lead is generated, now let's say this is social media or any kind of advertisement generates leads on bulk.
Correct.
But whenever that comes into play, we need to channelize it through a funnel, or let's say through a triangular point of view,
Through
to
different
find
tools, basically,
exactly.
to identify and shortlist them into potential admissions that are going to happen, and conversion, as we say, in certain aspects, right?
Yeah.
So let's focus on how do we do that. So basically, these analytics can only play a role when everything is consolidated into one platform,
Correct.
or at least two different platforms which amalgamate or interact through API interactions, as we would like to call it, to connect your different platforms like cloud telephony, CRM, WhatsApp API, social media, links, all of them put together where they talk to each other and have complete dashboard kind of a view for you.
Or let's say
To
complete analysis.
Yeah, so that
Complete
kind of
analysis to find.
it helps you decide which social media is giving me a good response, or where I need to improve more to ensure that I am able to answer the questions to the uh, common questions that are coming up. So that basically helps you define your strategy, which is completely data driven and not just on arbitrary guesswork. It helps you in improving your recruitment process. At the same time, it makes the student journey better, because the student journey is moving from shortlisted options and narrowing down to a smaller number of options. And as
Yes.
a counselor, before even you talk to these students, you are already aware about what all they have reviewed, because when you're using different social media platform, we will come across that in the next slide, where you exactly know what they have navigated through, what are the points that they have reviewed before coming to you. So
Exactly.
you can talk to them in a very customized, personalized way, as we would like to call it, to communicate with the student. Let's take down the other approaches that we can take it up.
Sure. Just a second. Now,
So I think everybody thinks of, we are talking about things in general, but we all know about it. What is a new thing these guys are talking about? So what we're talking about, how do we put a strategy in place which helps us identify? Because currently, as technology improves on a daily basis, there are so many things that one can do, and it can be sometimes overwhelming or confusing about what I should do and what I should not do. So there are options like using cloud telephony. What does cloud telephony do? It helps you track down
track
your
the call.
incoming calls, outgoing calls. You understand what questions are coming, where my counselors need training, or what kind of answers I can simplify and put it as FAQs, or I can use a chatbot for it. So all of these platforms, when we talk about, unless you understand what platform is giving you what answers, making a strategy would be very difficult.
And just to add on to that, even nowadays there is AI that has been introduced to this whole
And
picture.
AI does a lot of things if it is used in the
Yeah.
right way. Otherwise, yes, you go to ChatGPT and ChatGPT will write something up for you and give it to you. But in terms of, see, the first point in any journey is about the bulk lead generation, as from a counselor point of view. So here there are various tools that one can use, and you can evaluate which tool is working well for you. So that's how, when you're using different tools like a voice blast or cold calling or bulk SMS, social media platform, advertisements, or even WhatsApp for that matter, or a chatbot, these basically help you generate a lead. Now, like we spoke about in the previous slide about data analytics, that should help you which one is working for you at this stage. Exactly. And which one you should focus on. And then we go to analyzing. Here again, artificial intelligence, sentimental analysis, or your CRM platforms can, consolidate some of the data from different aspects and help you understand the pulse of your students, or what are they looking for, or how do you grab your target audience. Once
And
these leads are successfully generated, we get on to the
next part,
next
which
part.
is actually when your counselors
Yes.
get in touch with them. And trust me in this, that sentimental analysis plays a huge role.
Absolutely.
That actually gives you a complete detail of
Right.
what needs to be the next course of action for your counselor. And that now connecting over counselors, if we come into that picture, then again there are few tools that could be used. Those are
Yes.
like telephony, WhatsApp, email is
Email,
also
a part of it, because certain things have to be penned down. At the end of the day, there has to be a communication which can be considered as a formal
formal
communication.
communication.
But
Yes.
before going there, one more thing, when we talked about sentimental analysis, actually, in a way, it not just tells you that, this student is not interested by, certain keywords,
Mhm.
and this student is really interested. So you
Yeah.
can identify. So uh, one, if we analyze and understand how to use the sentimental tools, it can actually do wonders, because your productivity, efficiency works at a much higher level, where you, so in fact, with similar strategy at our end, we have almost double the
Yes. Yes.
conversion rate. So from something around 7 to 10%, we have brought it down to 15 to 18%. So
Yeah, that is correct.
that is how we are ranging around, because you have to keep analyzing,
Mhm.
because it is not that this is working for one course or one university, it will work over here as well. You will have to understand what is working for each different segment.
Let's say you have to mold it accordingly.
True, very
Correct.
true. So let's talk about a little more in depth about certain tools.
Definitely. So if we go ahead
A
with that,
little more, sorry, we missed a little more about the communications, how we strategize and what we use. So I think when we mentioned about certain more tools, we're talking about using chatbots. I'm sure all of you are aware of how the chatbot works, because it helps in a very guided manner, where it helps as a student navigate about what course am I looking for. It's not just, generally what used to happen is we would enter a website, and then you would have to look for, am I looking for a UG program or a PG program, an online program or an offline program or an executive program. But then there are so many other things on the screen, and then you end up getting a little distracted. Whereas when you're using a chatbot or a voice bot, you are pretty, it's like you're going in a very fashioned way, in a straightforward way of, identifying what is exactly the core that you're looking for. Exactly. And when that happens, you can, in fact, you'll be surprised that you can actually get the students take an online test, fill up a form, or even take an aptitude test on this. And based on this, you can get your sentimental analysis done, which again helps the counselor to exactly know
find
that,
out
who are the who probably needs an additional push or a help in identifying what the course they want to do,
and who already
or who
knows.
already have known. So it makes
Yeah.
it very easy for them to interact with the students. So that way, when we talk about the experience overall, it actually amplifies to a larger extent.
I would agree to that.
Great.
Okay.
So let's get on to the next one.
Sure. Now, this is something that we have been talking for.
Currently, it's one of the most talked about, aspect of how we can use WhatsApp today. I think when WhatsApp initially began, it was one of the tools where, most popular,
Just,
because you
it
could
was
non-invasively connect with anybody.
correct, and it was quite a easier way of access to personal communications.
True.
But eventually, it has evolved a lot.
Evolved to an extent where I remember the first time when business WhatsApp was done,
Mhm.
people were curious, how do we use it? What's the difference between a business WhatsApp and a normal WhatsApp? And then suddenly there came a place where the business WhatsApp, you could make your catalog, you can have your brochure, you can have
You can have
something
your
else.
chatbot within WhatsApp itself.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And now we are talking about WhatsApp Business API.
Yeah.
Now that takes it to a complete different level, because now you can track these conversations. See, previously tracking was not possible.
Yes, that
And
was.
it was a beautiful solution, but where we had a limitation of tracking it. Now, in fact, these solutions can be tracked. We can actually identify which person has stopped connecting with us at what stage in the bot level, or this source, this bot communications are coming from via website or via Instagram or even Google business page.
Exactly.
So,
or was it even a part of a broadcast?
yes. So in that
Yes.
way, and today's tools, in fact, in WhatsApp, previously I know when we initially started with business API, we used to get questions from our customers that, how do you even know that this person has blocked me?
Yes.
Or how do I know that this customer is ready to receive a message? But now today, API helps you understand that, because that is also evolving at a very faster pace, that this person has opted me in, this person has opted out, and I should not be using this template anymore because this template health has gone bad. So overall, this has really helped, and these statistics, this analysis helps you go to the next level, because you can again segregate and do a targeted broadcast to the people who are interested. For example, people who have read your message, or people who have only replied to you or raised a query. So that in a way makes it a lot of difference, because it's completely personalized at the level of interaction that your students have with you. So in
Correct.
that way, it has evolved drastically. In fact, the kind of conversations that previously Meta used to give has now changed and has evolved, and so has the pricing, to be honest. But let's not talk about that. So chatbot integration is one of the things which can be done with WhatsApp, with your Instagram, with your Facebook.
And let's say even with your website as well, that is something which has
True.
also been come into picture right now.
And when we track all of this and imply it together on your CRM platform, or on a platform which connects all these social medias together, it's amazing how you as a counselor have, very clear picture about where all this student has interacted with. They can have multiple touch bases.
Correct.
From your website to an aggregator platform, or from a WhatsApp number, or from a broadcast, or a ad.
To an Instagram team.
Yeah,
So
so
it could vary.
it could vary, and you can analyze it that which platform has worked the best for you.
And accordingly, we could actually find out that where our mind needs to be.
Correct.
Correct.
So this is just a tip of the iceberg when it comes to the WhatsApp. But there are, of course, a lot more things to be done. Just by sending a WhatsApp or a guided chatbot message on over a WhatsApp is not just it. You, at the end of the day, want to have some automation, right? Because we're talking about AI, we're talking about increasing the efficiency, we're talking about productivity increase of the counselors, using the resources in the right way, keeping the cost low, all of that. So automation, of course, plays a very important role. And a question that most of I think our customers have asked me before is, how do you automate the WhatsApp interactions? So one is, of course, the chatbot. The other is using CRM along with this, where at every lead stage you can automate and send out communications, which are not just on WhatsApp. It can be an email, it can be a SMS, it can be even a questionnaire or a form.
Okay.
So a lot more is possible when we talk about using a unified solution as a whole. When we use automation, so we have to build a proper flow so that these unified solution can give you the target result.
Okay.
Otherwise, platforms are many, options are many.
We just have to find the right one at the
Right combination at
Yes.
the right time.
And something that I would like to add in here, that
Yes.
other than just the WhatsApp chatbot, or let's say other than just the automation,
Yeah.
what CRM actually helps in that, let's say a student starts in automation,
Correct.
but eventually, if he's going through the whole process of automation, he needs to get in touch with someone.
Yes.
That is where CRM plays a very major role.
Yes. Where,
As you said, with the APIs,
yes,
because that is where it connects
and
to a person
that gives
person.
the counselor a very clear idea on, like, this is the time when I should, you know connect and explain it and take it further, because that's the time when whatever we may say, a personal connect always makes a difference, and that is where the role of counselor becomes even more uh, crucial, because they are having complete information before they connect.
Correct. Correct. Now,
Well, and another point, what we could also add is when we talked about automation, I think one point we missed was that today with this automation or chatbots or interactive, guided interactive conversations, you can also communicate things like what are my basic core structure, the deadlines, the eligibility criteria, and other things. So all those
Yes.
very common questions, mundane questions, can be already taken care of by these
Automated
automation
bots, correct.
processes where your counselors are actually talking, which is going to make a decisive,
Which
you
is
know,
good. Decisive.
decisive factor
Yeah,
for the student. So
correct.
I think Uttarayan was already talking about the benefits having a CRM
CRM,
solution
yeah.
to add. So just a little more to it of, in the journey, students' inquiry to segregation, shortlisting as you would call it, or personal interactions, finally the enrollment happens. That's the
Yes.
journey that it entails, and where the CRM captures all the details, wherein it becomes tracking, traceability comes in play, tracking of the journey, ensure analytics,
Analytics,
everything come in
everything.
place.
Like, let's take CRM into general, maybe telephony, maybe social media, maybe website, or
Right.
maybe even an email broadcast that I wish
Correct.
to do. CRM has been a part where it comes into one base.
Most of the places, because
Yes.
and through the integrations, APIs, whatever, I think some of you already know these words, so uh, you may be able to relate it. So that really makes it easier because today, see, always education has played a very important role in everyone's life in shaping their futures, shaping their presence. When we talk about it, a choice that we make, sometimes parents makes it for us, and sometimes we make it. Even as a working, at my role also, I would like to keep myself updated with the new things upcoming, and it makes a lot of all these technologies put together helps me identify what is the next thing that I should equip myself with. So
Correct.
these platforms and technologies help in making today a person aware of what is available and how I can make it better and
Correct.
how I can upgrade myself. Because at the end of the day, I think at some point in my school life, I was told that if you stop learning, you stop living. So,
Oh, I could relate to that. I could
so,
relate to
so
that.
it's something that we should keep learning at every stage, keep evolving to be able to, uh, you know,
Achieve new
achieve new
goals.
goals and probably do it in a better way. help
Correct.
help or use the tools available in more innovative way to get the desired results, because otherwise these tools are just tools when they're not utilized
Until
in the right
used
way.
correctly. Correct.
So like Google can give you all kinds of answers, but you should know what question to ask, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's something like that.
Okay.
Let's see what other
Things
points
that
we
we
have.
have.
uh,
Okay. Now,
so I think Biplav, if you can help us share some questions that our audience has, or if you have already collected a few. I think I see a question by Manish Garg asking in Hindi. I'm really sorry Manish, I हमने अभी आपका मैसेज देखा. Please ओके मनीष, हमने अभी आपका मैसेज देखा. माफ कीजिएगा, हमने पहले देख लिया होता तो वी वुड हैव,
switched
हमने
Hindi
दोनों
में switched
लैंग्वेजेस में
कर
बात
जाते.
करी होती. सो मनीष, हम ये कह रहे थे कि जो अलग अलग टूल्स अवेलेबल है आज के टाइम पे, वो जब तक हम सही तरह से उसका कॉम्बिनेशन यूज़ नहीं करेंगे, उसको कहाँ पे हमें व्हाट्सएप यूज़ करना है, कहाँ पे हमें बॉट यूज़ करना है, कहाँ पे हमें इंस्टाग्राम यूज़ करना है या फेसबुक यूज़ करना है, जब तक हम वो चीज़ बराबर से नहीं समझेंगे, और वो जो डेटा आता है, वो डेटा अगर हम अ, सही तरह से समझ नहीं पाएंगे, उसको एनालाइज नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो हम उसको क्या कहते हैं, उसका बेनिफिट नहीं ले पाएंगे, उसका फ़ायदा नहीं उठा सकेंगे हम. सो बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हमें ये जो सारी अलग अलग चीज़ें मिल रही है, CRM प्लेटफॉर्म्स हो गए, क्लाउड टेलीफोनी हो गया,
सोशल
सोशल
मीडिया,
मीडिया हो गया,
कुछ
ये
भी ले लिया जाए
हाँ
अगर,
जी, तो वो
तो
चीज़ें जब तक हम मेरे लिए सपोजिटली अगर मैं कोई कोर्स दे रही हूँ, तो मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए या फिर मेरे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म बेटर है, कहाँ पे मेरे स्टूडेंट्स ज़्यादातर पाए जाते हैं, मेरा वो जब तक मुझे नहीं पता होगा तब तक मैं उनको नहीं पहुंच पाऊंगी और मैं उनके साथ कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाऊंगी, और ना ही मैं जो उनको कोर्स देना चाहती हूँ वो उनको पता चलेगा, और वो हिसाब से एडमिशन नंबर आपका इंक्रीज नहीं हो सकता। तो एनरोलमेंट और एडमिशन के हिसाब से वो ज़रूरी हो जाता है। अ, ये थोड़ा एंड में हमने देखा है, माफ करिएगा।
जी।
नेक्स्ट टाइम आई थिंक पहले ही देख लेना
हाँ,
चाहिए कि
next
if
time
somebody
again.
is asking us some questions we can take it up. I think there was one interesting question by somebody saying that how do we utilize these tools, हम ये tools कैसे एक टेलीकॉलर के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं।
Okay.
सो जो टेलीकॉलर मतलब जो सिर्फ कॉल्स करते हैं या लेते हैं,
Okay.
उनके पास शायद दूसरे टूल्स नहीं होते हैं।
हाँ.
सो अगर मैं टेलीकॉलर्स के बारे में बात करूं तो वी बेसिकली अंडरस्टैंड दैट टेलीकॉलर्स होते हैं, उनके पास शायद क्लाउड टेलीफोनी तो होगा जहाँ पे वो किससे बात कर रहे हैं, क्या बात कर रहे हैं, कित मतलब कॉल मिस हो गया था, कॉल बैक किया है कि नहीं किया है, वो सारा आपको क्लाउड टेलीफोनी के थ्रू पता चल जाएगा। साथ में आप एसएमएस वाला टूल या फिर ईमेल वाला टूल भी इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं। यू कैन ऑल्सो यूज व्हाट्सएप, ईमेल, एसएमएस इंटीग्रेटेड विद क्लाउड टेलीफोनी। At least that is possible if they do not want to go for a CRM. Plus, you can also understand and track the communications by call barging, call monitoring kind of features. So जिससे क्या होता है कि कॉल जब चालू होती है तो आप कॉल सुन सकते हैं काउंसलर और स्टूडेंट के बीच में। दैट इज कॉल्ड barging and whispering kind of a scenarios where आप पता कर सकते हैं कि मुझे सवाल क्या पूछा गया था और उसका आंसर मैं सेटिस्फैक्टरी दे पाई या दे पाया या नहीं, राइट।
और ये इसमें भी मदद करता है कि अगर सपोजिटली कोई आपके पास नया टेलीकॉलर है,
हाँ जी,
तो अगर आप उसको मॉनिटर करते हैं, ये उसके उसको और अच्छा बनाता है उसके काम
हाँ,
पे।
तो उसको
ये
ट्रेनिंग में
बहुत
भी यूज कर सकते हैं। आई
Exactly.
होप इट इज नॉट नाउ टू मच ऑफ हिंदी दैट वी आर गेटिंग इनटू कॉन्शियसली। प्लीज
Yeah.
गाइस, let us know if that is the case. So I think at telecaller level also, it helps a lot if you are able to use a little bit more of other, you know, options available,
as well.
and that can help you connect with your students a little better. Prashant, you just joined, but we are somewhere in the end of the place or the question answers. Viplav, do you have other questions that you would like to? So I have a
Yeah,
question.
just
I think Mohammed saying that do we get a recording of this? That I think Viplav is the right person to ask. But in terms of you are using, you are an interior brand using CRM LSQ, that is Lead Square, and planning to integrate with MCube. That is very much possible. Lead Square and MCube integrations we have done multiple times, and that's very much possible.
That works pretty much
Mohammed.
seamlessly.
We get a question from Mr. Sorry, I'm not sure if it's Mr. or a Miss, but Rubain, can you throw light on any sites or tools that can be used for getting leads? Actually, a lot
Yeah.
in generating leads.
We can, let's say, touch base starts with social media.
So, my social media, I think, Rubain, you can use any social media to connect. With your target audience. You of course have to define what is your target audience. It has to be a little more structured. It cannot be just random, but you can have, by doing something like opening up a business page for your institute or your
Let's say whichever
a
institution
university you're
we are talking.
associated with, the courses or the kind of um, guidelines, or maybe your teaching course or coaching that is available in your institute. Start posting about what you can offer to the students, and then probably run some ads and communicate.
And in this, something that I would like to add, Ruben, that whenever we go ahead and let's say if we talk about social media, I just
Yes.
started with that. So whenever we create an ad, there's a lot of let's say specifications that we can add or a lot of filters that we can add for a targeted audience. So that is something we could use at a initial stage. Next, we talk about the next lead could come up into a website, because after social media, the next stop point is the website of what is the organization or what is the university offering. Now that is where SEO comes into play. Now you could explore a little bit with the SEO part, but yes, if we talk about mass lead generation, I'll suggest social media would be the best option to go for as of the initial stage if we are talking about that. Do we have questions, Vipla?
Any other questions that you have? Social media is the best way to ideally get leads. Ruben, I think he's asked one more question.
Yeah.
So, to begin with, yes, Ruben, social media does help in getting leads. And then, of course, you will need to analyze and evaluate what works for you. Based
Correct.
on some common questions, you can also create a bot where you can hand out basic information of the
Mhm.
course duration, something like a curriculum,
Or let's
eligibility
say the
criteria.
courses that you have to offer,
Yeah.
even that as well.
So if you do that, then of course it will, and you will know that, okay, this is what my students or my target audience is looking for.
Mhm.
Um, this Tasneem, thank you. This is myself, Ami Sharma, and I have a colleague of mine, that's Uttarayan Mukherjee.
Hi.
Hi, we're sorry, I would not be able to repeat the whole thing, but I'm sure you'll get the details.
But we had not received the transaction as we are expecting. Okay. Now, Rubain, this is something that
So I
I.
think we should read aloud the questions because others may not know
Yes,
it.
correct.
So Ruben's question was that the reason I'm asking is because we have placed a lot of ads across social media, but we have not received the traction that they were expecting. So Ruben, in fact, before you start adding to the ads, I would recommend that you first do
Analyze.
analyze a basic thing of where your target audience is mostly looking at. Say, for example, if you're looking for a course that is for executives
Mhm.
or for professionals who are already working, then you need to be on a specific that kind of a place.
Specific platform.
Platforms.
Correct.
If you are providing, courses which are related to uh, a different audience group, you need to be on those, so you have to identify what is there before you start spending money. And now, in fact, if you've already done that, probably good idea is to sit down and evaluate what works best for you, where the platform you got better answers, and then take it up. And then probably, use tools that will help you identify that. There is another question of, as you've mentioned, we are using all the tools like cloud telephony, WhatsApp, CRM, chatbot, website, etc. How do we
Mhm.
get a unified view of all these tools rather than looking at analysis on separate tools? A fantastic question. So, in general, with the complete integration, the CRM platform should be able to give you the details. But in case if it is not, I think there are additional platforms available where you can actually get a complete overview which integrate with cloud telephony, WhatsApp, CRM on a single platform
Yes.
where all your analysis can be done. But otherwise, yes, you would have to
What?
navigate what you're
Yeah.
talking about. So
Navigate.
probably you could write to us separately and let us know. We could help you choose the right tool or at least give you some options. Janvi, there's a question from you.
Yeah.
I can see that there are
There are
numerous
numerous
solutions at your
solutions.
platform. Is there one solution that includes all these features? We have different dashboards to an extent, Janvi, but we have an integrated solution as well. Uh, Different dashboards because at different stages of lead, you need different analysis and you need different uh, tools to identify it, and there are different stakeholders at the same time. So Janvi, we do have an integrated solution with an option of viewing everything in one shot or
We
viewing
can
it
even,
separately for every dashboard.
let's give it in this way that whenever there is an analysis, there are two forms of analysis.
Yes.
One where we just give take an overview of what's happening.
Right.
One where we need the depth of that analysis.
Right.
So Janvi, we offer both the platforms. We have in-depth analysis as well because that is something which eventually would be required.
Absolutely.
And we do also have the overview. Now it depends completely what is requirement of the situation.
Yes. Because say an admin would want to look at it in a different way, but a TL or a manager would want to look at it in a different way, and an agent would be only more concerned about how he or she is performing, or what is the productivity or the efficiency. So and at some point, I think every institute or an organization wants to look at what are we getting from what platform, and what is
Exactly.
because that is one of the important factors. So at sometimes you have to deep dive on a particular thing. So in our system we have both the scenarios available. I hope that
Yes.
answers your question.
Yes, thanks. Well,
You're welcome.
it's our pleasure.
Janvi, do we have
Do
more
we have
questions?
more questions for today?
I think Prashant, we can give him till I think somebody else asked. Prashant wanted a little bit of a brief. So I think Prashant, what we discussed was about how we can use a unified solution approach where we use multiple different integrated tools together, starting from your simple things like calling, understanding from what social media platforms you get your leads or inquiries from by using bots, voice bots, chat bots, and different parameters. At the same time, how this entire thing will add into your CRM platform, or how you will be able to analyze the data
Adding
and
on to the whole
review the
situation.
whole journey of the
Exactly.
student.
Correct.
So
And up to the point where we start the analysis with AI, because at the end,
yeah, so we
that
spoke
is
about
what the future is coming up
sentimental
to.
analysis as well.
Okay.
I think that last question we can,
Huh.
this particular question we can let Biplav answer, because I'm not sure whether we can share it on the WhatsApp or not.
Exactly. That is something we would need to take up.
Yeah, so Biplav would be able to answer that.
Okay. Now moving on.
Yes, Janvi. Also, the voice blast broadcast solution, is it related to auto calling? So, okay, a very good question, Janvi. Auto calling is a lot of time called a campaign or an auto dialer, while voice blast is something a little different comparatively. So, in voice blast, what happens is that a pre-recorded message is played, and there one would question or let the person answer whether you want to um, you are interested or not interested, or you want to talk to maybe a live agent or not. But when you talk about the auto the automated auto calling kind of thing, where you are talking about an auto dialer or a thing campaign, there actually the calls are connected at a particular frequency and a time frame, and the student is chatting with the counselor, is talking actually to the counselor, because the calls are simultaneously made on both the
Exactly, that
both the
is
numbers.
both the
And
numbers.
so it's a little different in voice broadcast. It's just an automated voice that connects with the student and it takes it up. So here again, like I said, there are two options, whereas when it comes to automated calling, this actually helps a lot when you want to improve the productivity of your counselors, or have a deadline of connecting with the students and ensuring that we complete the calls or connecting at a particular frequency, because at
Yeah,
times the deadlines are very close and you need to connect with the students, and
at the
somehow
earliest.
it's difficult to maintain a time frame. So that kind of helps in a way.
So, if you could give a gist of it, a voice blast is something where somebody listens and there's an audio recording being played.
Yes.
That is, let's say, 98% of the time that how it happens. If we talk about voice blast, and
No,
I,
in voice broadcast now, Uttarayan, you have an option also of choosing that yes, I'm interested and I would like to talk to an agent right
yes,
away.
that is
So that is
definitely
also
available.
possible. It's not just about hearing a conversation, but also allowing a student to
To
mention that I'm interested or not interested, or take it to, like, how you have in the banking sector, press one for this, press two for this, and stuff
like a
like that.
whole IVR situation.
Yes. So
Correct.
it can have like that, and it can disconnect, and then at some point the counselors can connect back.
Connect back.
Also, it allows to connect with the live agent directly, counselor. So that option
Okay.
is also currently available in the voice blast.
Okay, that's great. And campaign is something where two people needs to connect simultaneously for it to work.
So there are actually, if I go into the jargons, there is something called as a preview dialer. You have a predictive dialer and a
You have a,
progressive dialer.
and there is
So
one more that has come into picture recently.
yes, so
Okay.
I think now there is also solutions like video calling, like how you have in your banking sector. To an extent, it's
Follow.
limited, but now
Uh-huh.
you have it also for mass availability, where you can have a video
Yes.
conferencing for that matter. That
And this actually plays a very important role when
true.
it is coming to education, because
Yes.
every parent needs to see the face with whom
Yes.
they are having a word where they're going to
True, true.
invest for their
I
child.
mean, COVID, I think, first it led to a place where people were not certain that, I can just hear somebody. There is an option. And, then I think, Gmeet, Teams meeting, and a lot of other things
That is
came
what came
into
into
play.
play. Yes.
Then the WhatsApp video calling, group calling came into
Mhm.
picture. And now I think that's become a part of all the processes, where even I think these Teams meeting and G meetings help in doing interviews, even for hiring
Exactly.
purposes, or even
Exactly.
for exams to an extent. So now it is also a part of this unified solution
Where you can
to
directly video call a person
absolutely.
and have a conversation face to face.
Yes. So Janvi, I hope we have answered your question. Um,
Sure.
Nishar, I think my team Viplav will probably be able to answer
Exactly.
the.
Yeah, hi Amy. Yeah, we got few like lot of questions on about the recorded webinar. Yes, we will be sharing the recorded webinar after this session. Okay, so we'll upload it in the YouTube and also in the our website. They can check that.
Okay. Perfect, Biplab. Thank you so much for that.
Any more questions that we're looking for, Viplav?
No, not yet. We have got couple of questions that you already answered actually.
Yeah,
So let's wait for like few seconds if you got any questions.
sure.
Sure, we can do
Meanwhile,
that.
others can note down our email ID and connect with us, and we would be happy to answer your questions, or any other help that you need from us. And thank you for the viewers who've already asked us questions and taken interest into it. I hope that we have been able to answer you satisfactorily and probably given you something to take back with you, and which would help you in devising your strategy, or maybe utilizing the tools that
Exactly.
you have in a better way,
In harmony, actually.
in
In
harmony.
harmony.
Yes, and
Yes.
getting desired
Results out of it.
results, improving your students journey with you in a better way.
And if we not, let's say, if we don't even take student journey, or let's say even we take any organization in general
Yeah.
sense as well, this actually would, like, if everything works in unified form, that actually helps to grow
Absolutely.
under any circumstances that we are.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, we're not. Mm, I think we have already answered all the questions.
Thank you,
So
Vipin.
yeah,
Thank you.
it was. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Taran.
Thank
Thank
you,
So
you,
everyone.
Love, and thank
yeah,
you everyone for joining in today. And
We'll take your leave.
yes, yeah.
Have a great evening.
have a great evening.